Hi. Are you an obsessive mobile phone checker in your relationships? You know, it could be just somebody that you started dating or somebody you've been in a long-term relationship with, but you don't hear from them for a few hours or maybe a day. And you start to get really anxious. You know, you might start thinking, does this person care about me? Do they really like me in the first place? Well, you're not alone. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 little tips that might help you. Now, if you do get anxious when you haven't heard from somebody that you're interested in or from your partner, whether you've been going out with them just for a few dates or if you've been with them for a long time, it's probably a sign that when you get anxious, it's because what you have is an anxious preoccupied attachment style. Now, if you have an anxious preoccupied attachment style, whenever your partner isn't there, or even if it's somebody that you've just seen once or twice, you start to get that anxious feeling. You might start finding your body goes into a stress-like response, which means that you can feel pretty bad. You might start saying things to yourself like, well, maybe this person doesn't care about me. Maybe they don't like me. Or if you're in a relationship, you might start even thinking, well, could this person be seeing somebody else? Whatever it is that you say to yourself, it can feel pretty bad. Now, when we have this sort of anxiety, when we're constantly preoccupied thinking about why they haven't called me, or, are they going to call me? What is going on? And the reason is because of this attachment style. It might be that at some point in your life, somebody let you down. Maybe a past relationship, somebody betrayed your trust. Or maybe when you were a young child, a significant carer didn't give you all the love and attention that you needed. Whatever it was, we've learned this attachment style. It means that whenever somebody significant to us isn't around, we start to get this anxious feeling. And this anxious style can really get in the way of our lives throughout the day because you might be constantly thinking about that other person. You might be thinking, why haven't they called you? You might just be getting those feelings of anxiety. And because you're anxious, when you do see the other person, you might even find you get annoyed with them because they haven't called you. And that could harm the relationship. So being able to manage that could be really useful. And there's 3 little ways that I'm going to give you that I hope will help you. The first thing is to recognize that your body has gone into this anxious state, this anxious response. So one thing that you can do is help your body to slow down. To deal with that stress response, a simple thing you can do is to take 3 deep breaths. So breathe in to a count of 3 and breathe out to a count of 3. And do that maybe 3 or 4 times until your body starts to relax. It actually triggers your parasympathetic nervous system to help you relax. It helps your body to slow down. The second thing that you could do is make certain times in a day where you check your phone and don't check it the rest of the time. Now, that's not only useful in relationships, but it's useful to not waste time throughout the day because people spend so much time checking their phones. So schedule certain times in the day where you check your phone and don't do it the rest of the time. Keep your phone out of reach. The third thing that you can do is to be aware of some of the things that you say to yourself when you're feeling anxious. Say the person hasn't called, or if it's your partner and they're running late, maybe they're not home from work, and you start thinking things like, where are they? What are they doing? What are they up to? Think about what you're saying to yourself and start to challenge some of those thoughts. Because most of those thoughts are not based on reality. They're things you create because of your anxiety. So if you say things to yourself like, well, they don't care about me, start thinking, well, okay, it's actually only been a few hours since I've seen them. And that's really not a large amount of time. That thought that you're saying to yourself is not based on reality. Or maybe you say something to yourself like, well, maybe I'm not good enough. Or maybe people just don't like me. Maybe that's why they don't contact me when the phone isn't ringing. Just remind yourself that those things that you're saying to yourself, you're saying because of your anxious attachment style. They're not true. They're not based on reality. You are a great person. You've got friends and family or people who acknowledge the great things about you. Think about those people and what they'd say about you. Now, of course, in this video, we can only just touch on some of the things about these attachment styles. Learning about your attachment style and your partner's attachment style, or even a potential partner's attachment style, can really help you find and create amazing relationships. So if you'd like to find out more, go and check out therelationshipmaze.com. We've got lots more information there. I hope to see you there, and thanks for listening.